Rafael Devers is a San Francisco Giant. The Boston Red Sox trading Devers to the Bay Area. San Francisco, California signed that 10-year, $313 million deal. And when the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman, everyone felt a certain way, a disconnect between Rafi and management about what position he would play, what he was willing to play. It's been a long-term relationship, signed with Boston as an international free agent in 2013. And here are the details. Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, prospect James Tibbs, who's a first-round pick, highly ranked prospect, and Jose Bayo for Rafael Devers. The Giants taking on the entirety of the contract, which for a superstar player seems like a bargain. We have a group text. I texted, what did I text? What?
Yeah, I was watching the movie when one of my buddies texted me.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I thought.
What
it was
did I
a joke.
text back?
I forget.
I said, "Is this real?"
Yeah, it's
Question mark?
crazy. But you're right. The Giants do get their superstar, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Giants' perspective in a little bit.
Your initial reaction.
But yeah,
my initial reaction is, you just took 5 of 6 from the New York Yankees. You just swept them at home. You're back in the mix, and you take one of the top 5 offensive players in the game, and you trade him.
I think that was everyone's initial.
That's the initial reaction to me. Like, I picked the Red Sox to go to a World Series this year.
Me too.
I was like buying in, thinking they could win the AL East. That's going to be a hard.
They're 6.5 back.
That's going to be a hard nut to crack without this guy hitting in the middle of your lineup.
Alex Bregman's still not back.
Eventually, he's coming back. I want to look at it from Boston's side. Okay? Number one, I know everybody, the fan base is going to kill them for this. They have to. Because what did you say coming in?
Within the last 5 years, they traded away Mookie Betts, Chris Sale, and now Rafael Devers.
Well, I think half the reason they gave Rafael Devers the extension is because of how they handled Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah.
And then, you didn't think Chris Sale was going to recapture glory.
And those decisions have
better.
spanned administrations there in Boston.
Short term, you can't cover it. I don't know how this team sneaks into a wild card spot. Now, I think the clubhouse will not be as impacted as people may think. I think the Ravi Devers situation, whether it was handled correctly or not, who botched it from both sides, right? All take blame in this. They can't cover it short term. Long term, I don't think it's a bad move. And I don't know if they had the ability to shop it the way everyone's talking about. I think, and they flew to Kansas City, John Henry, and they sat down with Rafi Devers, and they didn't like the answers they were given. And the owner walked out of that meeting, in my opinion, and turned to Craig Breslow and said,
trade him.
I need this guy out of here. That's my take on it. So what do? In the dark of night, you try and find a team that's if this would have got out that they're shopping him, that would have been a whole nother bag of issues to deal with. So I look at it from short term, kills them offensively. It does. And we're going to get into it with CY. Yeah, you can take a look at the lineup, Devin. Put it up there. They can't cover it. Now, they got young and hungry. Don't kid yourself. And maybe that's the way they're going. Marcelo Myers and the Roman Anthonys of the world, and surround them with the Alex Bregman, some great superstar, veteran-type players. Jared Duran's going nowhere now. The William Abreu's and the Christian Campbells and the Rafaelas. Young, athletic, and for the next umpteen years got a chance to do something special. Short term, there's no one in this lineup. There's not 2 guys in this lineup that can produce the way Rafael Devers has been able to produce. That being said, 28 years old, DH, bad defender, disgruntled. I don't think long-term, once the initial shock, now how do they reallocate the dollars remains to be seen. I don't know what this means for them long-term. I don't think you lock up any more young players like Christian Campbell. I think you got to let that stuff breathe. But does Bregman opt out? Do they bring him back? Are they in the market for more pitching? The Zach Allens of the world. I don't know who's on the free agent market off the top of my head this year that they can go out and reallocate this dollars to. But I just feel like this is a situation, when I look at it on face value, short-term kills them, long-term, I don't hate it. I don't know if they could have waited to the offseason. I would have took a run and maybe tried to talk to my owner and say, hey, listen, we can make a run at a World Series this year. as currently constructed if we address the bullpen at the deadline.
Yeah.
Let's go after it and let me shop this in the offseason. I still think the Buster Poseys of the world would have been answering the phone.
Yeah.
But the initial shock to have this happen after you sweep the Yanks and you got goodwill running in that ballpark, what's the reaction going to be from this fan base when they come off this road trip?
No, it's probably not going to be great. Now, you mentioned they are on the road this week. And, oh, by the way, guess who they're playing this weekend? They're going to be playing the San Francisco Giants in San Francisco with their three-hole hitter playing for the other team. As for the Giants, let's get into that perspective. Here's some reaction to the Rafael Devers sound post-game after they lost last night to the Dodgers.
Man, I mean, you know, Rafi, he's one of the best hitters in the game. I mean, you see what he's doing, what he's done in Boston, and the way that he contributes with the bat, and obviously, you know, coming over here, he's going to be a big acquisition for the lineup. I mean, we needed a bat like him, and obviously, to get him, he gets the clubhouse. You know, everybody's thrilled to have him here, and you know, me personally, I'm so happy. Like I don't even know how to describe it. I went to the game. I didn't even stretch today. I was like, I was so pumped. I was like, let's go.
I heard people talking about it like 10 minutes before the game, since I wasn't out there getting ready. You know, I was just doing some rehab stuff, and word started to spread around the clubhouse, and obviously sad to see some of those guys go, but that's kind of the nature of the business. And then just really excited to welcome, you know, Rafi in here, and I've always admired him playing against him, so to be able to play with him is exciting. Another presence in the lineup, you know, a left-handed bat that can hit for high average and for power. You know, something I think this team can feed off of, and now we just have a lot of other good supporting cast around him.
People that don't know Buster, you should realize, like, the only thing he wants to do is win, plain and simple. And I think a guy like that is win now move. So I don't think he's. You guys saw his comments when we were kind of losing a little bit, and he said it's time to go. There's go time, and he means it. He's a guy you plug in there every day. I don't know where he's going to hit, but I don't think it really matters. He's guy's a stud, plain and simple, and I'm excited about it.
All right, a couple of things. One, that game Friday night between the Red Sox and the Red Sox and the Giants in San Francisco.
How's
That'll
it gonna
be seen. Well, Rafael Devers is probably going to be playing third for the Giants.
He's going to hit one in the bay.
Yeah, definitely.
You know my biggest takeaway?
We're going to see that game right here on MLB Network.
Where's he playing?
Is Matt Chapman Magnum PI?
The shirt.
Is he arresting people
That's
in
kind
Maui?
of the in trend, like the bowling shirts.
The bowling shirt with
That's
the
the thing.
stash?
That's
I got to
the
get
thing.
a stash.
What?
I have to.
So what does this mean for the Giants?
I texted Buster Posey on the plane
What'd he
last
say?
night. I said, "You're in the memory-making business, huh?"
Yeah.
From his press conference.
Play the sound, Devin. I want people to understand this guy.
All of us that are lucky enough to get to be involved in baseball in whatever capacity, I think, understand that not only is it the greatest game in the world, but we're in the memory-making business. It's ultimately entertainment. It's an opportunity for grandparents and parents to share memories with friends. It's an opportunity for strangers sitting out in the bleachers to share a great memory that happens at the ballpark and that can be talked about from that time on for the rest of their life, potentially.
And do not kid yourself. As just wholesome, good-looking guy as you see right there, he is inside him burns an absolute killer to compete and win. He's been a part of 3 world championships with the San Francisco Giants. He was not happy with the X regime and how they ran it. That's what I would say to Boston. Don't start turning into Tampa now. Like, you got dollars. I get it. You might have wanted to move on.
They got even more now.
You want to move on long-term from a Rafael Devers, but don't hit me with we're going completely young. That fan base will not buy that. In San Francisco,
They got their star.
they needed it.
Yeah.
He's a gangster. Buster went out and got his star. He's a top 10 bat in the game. They had a tough time, and Buster had to overpay a little bit to get Willie Adames in the door.
Did it early.
He extended Matt Chapman. Wanted to change the narrative, bring in some superstars, put fannies in the seats, give them a chance to go back to the postseason. They're battling against the Dodgers and the Padres and a young, hungry Diamondbacks team. he knew he didn't have enough as currently constructed in that lineup. And he went out and got it.
I think of that flight, that plane going West Coast from Boston with all of them there and what those conversations must have been like after you take off your cornerstone player and he goes back to Fenway.
If he wants to troll, if Rafi wants to troll the Red Sox this coming weekend, he'll play third against the Red Sox and then he'll also play first.
Yes!
He'll also play first.
No sé, mi posición en la tercera base, no sé.
Yeah, I mean, third base is my position. It's what I've played. You know, I don't know what their plans are. Like, I know we had a conversation. I made it clear kind of what my desires were. And yeah, whatever happens from here, I don't know.
Yeah, how would you react if they asked you to DH? How would you feel about that?
No. What happened at Cosmos happened. They came to me and talked to me about it. I know I'm a ball player, but at the same time, they can't expect me to play, you know, every single position out there. In spring training, they, you know, talked to me and basically, you know, told me, you know, I wasn't going to play any other position but DH. So right now, I just feel like it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask me to play another position. I don't feel that they stay true to their word. They told me that I was going to be playing this position, DH, and now they're going back on that. So, yeah, I just don't think they stay true to their word.
Jared Carrabis, I watched you last night on MLB Tonight. Welcome to you. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on MLB Central. He gave a big thumbs down. You've had about 15 hours to process it. You're close in that organization, Jared. What are we missing? What happened?
I don't know that we're missing much. It feels like what's on the surface is exactly how this thing played out. You know, Rafael Devers showed up in spring training, and I think he was a little bit blindsided by the Bregman situation. I feel awful for Bregman in this situation as well.
How's that possible, Jared? How's he getting blindsided when the whole world knew they were either going to get Arenado, somebody was coming?
Because they kept saying Bregman's going to play second base, and they kept saying that, you know, this is the guy that we have. Don't worry about it. You're still our third baseman. And then he shows up, and it's Bregman's not taking any ground balls at second base. And it's like, well, wait a second. That's a little bit odd. And then they ask him to move to DH. So this was kind of doomed from the get-go. But I guess, like, the sentiment that we need to acknowledge now is that it feels like from the Red Sox side, they're giving this move the thumbs up. Like, I thought that the room was going to be like furious and how could you take this guy out of the lineup? I'm not sure that it's playing out that way right now.
Do you think, honestly, as you sit here today, because like I was on a plane last night, I'm like, short term, I hate it for the Red Sox. Long term, I like it for the Red Sox. Do you think they're still a potential wild card team as currently constructed, if they address the bullpen a little bit at the deadline?
Yes and no. I mean, as currently constructed today on June 16th, no, I don't think so. You know, you lose Rafi. I don't believe that's the case, but we're still a month and a half away from the trade deadline. Like, that's the most important thing that we need to acknowledge is they have time to, like, you're not going to replace Rafael Devers, D-Row. You know that. I know that. Like, there's no Rafael Devers out there that's going to be added to this team. But can you help out offensively? Yeah. Are there moves that they can still make to become a playoff team this year? I do believe that that's true. I think ultimately what we need to know for a fact is that the room isn't shaken by this and that they're more motivated by this. This is kind of like, all right, no one believes that we can do this. All right, well, we have enough talent to go out there and make the playoffs. That's what I'm hoping / kind of feeling like the vibe is right now.
Jared, spinning it forward, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony. I'll throw Jarren Duran into that mix. This is what does this mean for those four and the larger young core within that organization now?
Yeah, so I'm glad that you threw Duran in that group because, you know, as much as I love Rafael Devers, there's a large difference between the face of the franchise and the leader of the team. He was not a leader, you know, like I get that he was disgruntled and that he felt disrespected when he got moved to DH and then you ask him to play first and then they're too afraid to even ask him to play third when Breggy went down. But if this is kind of the pecking order now where Duran is the guy, like, I don't know if you saw a few days ago, but they moved Roman Anthony's locker in between Bregman and Duran. And, you know, Duran's that type of dude where it's like, you're either with us, you're against us. If you don't want to be here, then screw you. Like, I feel like that's kind of the vibe that's echoing in that room today. If you didn't want to be here, like, we battled all the way back to get to a playoff spot. And if you're not down for the cause, then see you later. I don't care how many home runs you hit, how many doubles you hit, how many runs you drive in. So that's kind of where it feels like the messaging is at, is if you don't want to be here, then see you later.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, do you have any idea what Devers thought?
So Devers was, I think he answered the question yesterday. He was asked the question of, you know, that whole drama in spring training and everything that kind of played out after that. Is that water under the bridge? And I'm paraphrasing, but he said, yeah, we're past that. Now, it was a quick response. But yeah, that's what he said. We're past that. So it's kind of, everyone's talking out of both sides of their mouth right now. The idea that Devers wouldn't want to be there, but also publicly saying that we're kind of past that. But it's too late now. You know, I thought that this would have been a salvageable relationship, especially because of, you know, the relationship that Rafi has with Alex Cora, that he would have been able to mend the fences between player and front office, but it just did not play out that way. And I was very, very surprised.
Do you know who Rafi's tight with on that team? Like, how does this affect Bayo or other teammates? That's always my thing. Like, how does this trickle down?
Yeah, so I mean, yes, he's tight with like Sedan and he, like, you know, the Dominican player, he's tight with them. But in terms of what the room needed, like yes, he can be a buddy to certain guys, but the biggest complaint that we kept hearing from some of the younger players is we just want like a veteran to talk hitting with. And he did not appear to be that guy. There's a difference between, you know, he's great in the clubhouse. We can laugh and joke with him, but when it comes time to, hey, I need help. Like I need someone to look out for me. I don't know that he was that guy. Duran is trying to be that guy. I think Roflo mentioned Christian Campbell as part of that young core, and he's been talking glowingly about Duran being that guy of, hey, he knows what it's like to come into a big league clubhouse, be the new guy, struggle right away, and then be looking around being like, where's the person that's going to say it's going to be okay or give me some guidance? So Duran's trying to be that guy, whereas Rafi was not that guy.
All right, Jared, don't cry when he goes in McCovey Cove this weekend.
Yeah, just
because that's happening.
We've been floating around the idea of getting out there this weekend with some kayaks. That
there we go.
Idea has
as you should. The Section 10 podcast should be the latest episode should be very, very interesting. Jared, we appreciate the time, man.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow at the Draft Combine.
You got it. Yes, Jared Carrabba, part of our MLB Draft Combine coverage, frequent contributor right here on the network and weighing in on the Rafael Devers situation going to the San Francisco Giants.